Recently, I had the opportunity to visit the studios of Captured Dimensions and Motus Digital off of Plano Parkway in Plano, Texas, to see the high-tech work they are doing. Okay, so right now I'm sitting with Jordan from Capture Dimensions and Kyle from Motus Digital. And you guys are doing some really, really awesome stuff over here. So tell us a little bit more about Capture Dimensions, Jordan.
Yeah. So Capture Dimensions, we're kind of in the business of taking the real world into the digital world through 3D scanning. So we have a studio here that has 80 DSLRs in it. We shoot all of those simultaneously, and it gives us a really high quality full surround image of a person that we're able to turn into a really high quality 3D model of them. And then we're able to replicate people through 3D printing, or we do high-end applications where we can have them animated and used in digital productions like video games and movies through our partnership with Motus.
And now, Kyle, tell us a little about Motus Digital.
Okay. So Motus Digital is a motion capture and animation studio. So we get actors and put them in the goofy-looking black spandex suits, and we put the markers on them, and we record their motions and translate them onto CG characters. A lot of our animations get used in video games. We've done a lot of commercials. We've done some television work, and might be doing some movie work soon. So.
Ooh, nice little teaser there. So how did you guys get started with Capture Dimensions and with Motus?
We started with a couple cameras trying to scan content into the digital realm for 3D printing primarily. We had a background in 3D printing and an obsession with that, and we wanted to get the best quality content in there. And there were a lot of ways for scanning things, but most of them required a subject to hold perfectly still, like laser scanning and hand scanning. All of those require a subject to be static and still. Photogrammetry, you can fire multiple cameras at a time and get multiple angles of a subject at one time. So we started with a few, and we've grown and been able to do larger and larger pieces of geometry. Now we're doing full bodies, and it's pretty cool.
Cool. So we got started 5 years ago, and we opened up down here to be a motion capture studio. There were some studios on both coasts and nothing in the middle, so that's how we started off here. We met Jordan and Captured Dimensions actually through our friends at Janimation, who focus on full production, full animation productions. So we're more specialized. We're more specialized on the animation side. They're more specialized on the model or the asset creation side, and then they kind of straddle both sides. And when we met, we hit it off, and we had an extra room next door, and it just fit perfectly for us. So they moved in, and we've been doing some pretty cool stuff ever since.
It's funny you just said Janimation. I actually was an audio engineer intern at Janimation. Right. Yeah, right outside of college. So right now you got 3 people with Janimation. So yeah, excellent. So you said that y'all guys met through Janimation. Now, what do you guys see with this partnership? Where do you guys want to go with it? Whoever wants to answer first.
Yeah. That's a big question. Yeah, there's a lot you can do with it, really. I mean, Motus really specializes in being able to take all of this to a real-time level where they can capture a performance in real time and share that with others, perhaps a long distance away. So there are a lot of really cool possibilities for doing some of that stuff together, where we can scan a person, have an accurate representation of them, giving a presentation somewhere else, or a performance in a digital environment. I mean, sky's the limit with that, and things like virtual reality and augmented reality are beginning to take off. So I could see a lot of really cool possibilities with that, aside from just the high end, where we can be doing films and video games with really accurate, beautiful digital characters and representations of real life.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a big question because there's so many different things we could and we want and we've talked about doing. But some of the big ones are we really want to get the process sped up and write some tools to very quickly be able to take those the models that Jordan creates and turn them into animatable characters that are driven by the actors. We also I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities with putting individual characters in video games. So your custom character can be in a game and you can actually play it. But then the whole other thing is, I mean, we really feel that there's going to be a big change in what's cool in the years to come when the new Oculus or the Oculus Rift's coming out, Google and Apple coming out with their VR units, and then with everything else, it's going to be a very interesting next 5 years, and we feel there's going to be a much higher demand for this type of stuff and the customization of it. So we feel like we're really kind of getting our feet wet in something that isn't really even taken off yet, which is why we're very excited to be here today.
All right. Well, I think we've heard enough. Why don't we see it? So yeah, why don't we go on a tour?
Let's do the tour.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so Jordan, where are we right now?
All right, so we're standing in front of our photogrammetry studio. Inside we have 80 DSLR cameras. They're all positioned to capture every angle of a person that we're able to. We shoot all those simultaneously in a flash. It's just like having a picture taken. It's just every angle at once. And we put all those together into a nice 3D model, and we can do a lot with it.
3, 2, 1.
So how much, because you're selling these 3D models to consumers, right? So how much would that be?
Typically the whole process, to come into the studio, have the studio time, have our art team put work into making it the best model possible, and then getting it printed, is $400 for a 1/12 scale replica, which sounds like a lot for an action figure, but when you think about it in terms of this is a custom statue that's been commissioned in your honor, or this is a digital character that's perfectly representing a person, it's a pretty high value object that we're giving people for that value.
And this is one of the products that y'all are going to be putting together with Motus, right?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a similar product, but for us, there's different requirements for animation where we have to put a rigging in, we have to, size it up, and a whole bunch of different things that are probably too long to get into just in this video. But yeah, the beginning steps are the same steps. We got to get an actress or an actor in here. We got to put them in here. They get the model created, and then from there we get it ready for a production pipeline. So it's both the same first steps can be bought by by anybody who goes to a Comic-Con, or those same things are the first steps for us to be able to do a really high-end 3D production with it. So.
Now, in this environment in here, do you have to be stationary, or is this something where you can actually move around as well?
Yeah, the beauty of what we've got here is we shoot everything simultaneously, so we're able to capture things in motion. So other scanning methods, laser scanning, hand scanning, you're not able to capture the really special moments like kids and pets and that sort of thing. We're able to here. It's not a problem. So my daughter, she's just over a year old now. I've been making it a personal project to scan her every couple months as she's grown. So I had her in here when she was 2 weeks old, and now we've got kind of this digital progression of her growing, and I intend to keep doing that. But you can't do that if you're hand scanning. You can't say, baby, hold perfectly still for 5 minutes.
Yeah, there it is.
There you go. That's us.
Yeah, no, yeah. If you could train a baby to just hold that pose real quick, wow. Yeah, and that's awesome. So you not only do color, but you also just do bronzing? Is that what your process looks like?
Yeah, so we have a process where we can print things in. It's actually PLA plastic. It's using kind of FDM printing technology, and then we coat it in a real bronze coating, and we're able to use cold patinas on that and stuff. So a lot of that we do with sculptors and artists. We're able to take their really their awesome works of art and scan them in, and we can replicate those at different scales. But we can also do this for people that just want a statue of themselves, kind of in the more traditional sense with kind of a metallic look.
I have to be honest, this is surprisingly light. I hadn't picked it up yet, and right now I'm like, whoa, okay, I thought this was really going to be heavy.
You're just surprisingly strong.
Yeah, oh yeah, I don't know my own strength. So, okay, cool. Well, let's keep moving on.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we lost Kyle at the moment, but he's over just getting everything ready for the next room we're going to go visit. Yeah, we'll find him. But right now where we're at is, this is kind of where the magic happens. You're the behind-the-scenes work.
Definitely.
Yeah, so this is where your team is, right? So what kind of stuff does your team do?
Yeah, so typically this area is populated by a bunch of diligent artists putting a lot of work into the models that we've got. So when we initially scan people, it's great data, and we've got a lot of really great quality from that. But there are some things that need to be tweaked. Things like hair, for instance. We can't scan individual hairs because everything that we're scanning, we need to capture every angle of that piece of geometry. Obviously, you can't do that with all the hairs on your head. So we end up with sort of a blob of geometry that kind of approximates your hair. So our art team will do things like cleaning that sort of thing up and cleaning up any other imperfections in the model and ensuring that it's really the quality that we need for the output that we're wanting for our clients and customers. And then there's a little bit of work with the texture, with the color data that we wrap back around that model. So we wrap all those images back around the model, and then there's a little bit of cleanup to be done with that. And our art team works on that. We've got some really great folks on our team that are able to prepare everything from 3D printable components to almost film ready stuff.
So how many people do you employ? How many people does it take to really put this all together?
I mean, we're still a startup, but at this point we've got a dozen people that are working on some piece of the pipeline. And we've got some freelancers as well that pitch in from time to time in kind of high seasons when we've got a lot going on, like when we're processing stuff from Comic-Con and that sort of thing. But yeah, we've got a pretty good team.
So you guys, and I know some of you are working on the production of, or the, as you said, kind of making sure that the hair's all good, everything, all the detail work for the figures. Now, is that also the augmented reality, or is that like a separate team that works on that?
Yeah. No, the beauty of all of our digital stuff is once we've got it to kind of a ready state, there's a lot you can do with it. 3D printing is one of those applications, and it's one that a lot of people are interested in. Augmented reality is another one that we get a great deal of interest in because it's really cool. It's a great way of sharing that digital content with a lot of people that maybe can't be there on site. You can send them, a wedding invitation or a Christmas card, and that can be a tracker that's tied to some of that digital content that we have. So I guess you've seen some of that, but this is an example. So here's just a tracker that we created, and this can be any 2D file as long as it's got enough contrast, and we can tie that to an object. And then we've got a 3D model that's tied to that. And then this kind of augmented reality is all about kind of bringing the real world and the digital world together, so you can kind of see digital content in the real world space.
Wow, this thing moves. You can still see things as it turns around. It's awesome. Wow. And this kind of stuff, I mean, obviously this is the future. I mean, the stuff
definitely.
that you're working with.
Well, yeah, you see stuff like Google Glass. That's a great first example of that sort of thing that's really going to keep taking hold. It's only going to grow from here. We're going to start seeing this kind of a game layer on top of the real world starting to develop, where real objects that you see have meaning in the digital world, and vice versa. That's only going to continue to develop. You'll be able to look at a building and you'll know what that building is, and you'll have all sorts of information about it. You'll be able to play a video game, and it can be interacting with real objects and real scenarios and characters and everything. We're just at the beginning. It's going to get really cool in the next few years.
So eventually the world will be one giant video game. So stay tuned, keep watching for what these guys are doing. It's going to be really awesome. So we're going to go ahead and move on. All right?
All right.
Next room. Okay, so this room from Motus Digital.
Yep.
We found you, by the way. We lost you for a second, but tell us what this room is capable of.
Okay, cool. So this is a motion capture studio. We got cameras all around the outside. I think you can see some of the red ones up there. They all strobe at a given frame rate. I think we have it at 200 or 360 right now, but don't quote me. But it's something around there. But they all shutter, and as they shutter, they pick up all these different markers on our actresses here and triangulates where each of these markers is, which we can then drive a skeleton, which then drives another real-time skeleton that you can see behind us. So go ahead and move around a little bit, girls, so they can see your character. There you go. So over there you can see our motion capture data, and then over here you can see the real-time previs, and we've avatared one of them. So yeah, that's pretty much what we do.
Now, what kind of stuff do you guys do? Is it just video games, or what else?
No, we do. There's a lot of different uses for motion capture. Video games is the most common one. So we do a lot of work in video games, which is recording thousands of very short little animations that either loop or transition into other animations to eventually create a game tree that they can use in games that are played pretty commonly today. But we're also, something that we're working on right now is we are about to launch our website, motioncaptureonline.com. And there you'll be able to go and buy different pre-made game trees and pre-made animations, apply them to your own character for game engines like Unity or Unreal or Cry that are now available to the public. And you can very quickly and easily get very high-end animation trees for prices that are split amongst all the different developers out there. So hopefully very, very low.
So you're going to be in your own game soon.
I am. I just found out that you can actually drop your character. Like, you can come here and get scanned, and then you can actually have it, they're going to hook you all up, and I guess you can download it to your game, and I am beyond thrilled. Yeah, I'm just more than excited.
I'm gonna be so scared though. I'm gonna be sitting there playing my game as me, and then all of a sudden I get shot, and I'm like, no, I died, no. Okay, so what kind of stuff do you guys have coming up?
Well, that was one of the big things we're going to be working on. We're going to be working. Sorry. We're going to be working on our action packs. We're going to be doing a lot of that in the next couple months. We also have an app called Dancing Donna that just went live last week. And we're real excited about that because it's more of a prototype for a whole concept of games, where it's a character that can play games with you instead of like a game world that you kind of play, you look at and play. So we're working on that, and we have a whole bunch of other little mini games that are along the same lines as Dancing Donna that we'll be putting up in the next couple months. And those are our next internal projects. And then we also have some very cool client projects that we're not allowed to talk about. So you can see those maybe at next year's E3.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's something. I'll take anything I can get. All right, so you guys, y'all aren't with Motus, right? So what do y'all guys have going on?
I'm Crystal Starr. I actually work for Samaze, and We just launched our first magazine at Dallas Comic Con this year, and we actually have a really cool story in here about Motus Digital. So you can actually get a copy of this magazine online at samaze.com. That's SAMAZE.com. So check it out. We cover all kinds of Comic Cons, events around Dallas and Texas, really. And we have like 1 million photos. Seriously, I was talking to Kyle earlier. We have over 1 million photos of just like random funny photos. So if you're in a cubicle, it's a site to be at.
I'm Tiffany Lynn, and I'm actually a fashion model, and you can follow me on Facebook at Tiffany Lynn. And I just started a YouTube channel called That Ziggy Girl TV, so you can see me playing video games and doing walkthroughs and some little guides playing whatever.
All right, cool. All right, well, that sounds good to me, man. Thanks a lot for all this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
All right, guys, we had an amazing time over here with Motus Digital and Capture Dimensions. Keep following them. They're going to be doing a lot of amazing, incredible stuff coming up. They already are. So if you want to get some of their merchandise, go over, check out Capture Dimensions, check out Motus Digital, anything like that. As you can see, they're having some fun over here, just like we were. So I'm Matt with SCNS Live.